Oh, God, is this going to be good? Hit it, Chewy.
Evil love, something wicked, this way comes evil love. Wicked is as wicked does evil love. Something wicked, this way comes evil love. Wicked is as wicked does. Our evil church steeple, Christ is a drug dealer, howl wolf, eyes to see what be wrong with the people. They live to get high, doped out with fuzz and needles, Grim Reaper, Pharmakia, Death Storm, Medea, Sia, high purple ink pearls, Dr. Slooms, that's my girl, run the world, cola swirl, dope so strong they had to hurl. The greedy egos took them with lust, it fucked them up, hit the flush, in Lady Justice I trust. Evil love, something wicked, this way comes evil love. Wicked is as wicked does evil love. Something wicked, this way comes evil love. Wicked is as wicked does.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is going to be so exciting. I love it. I'm going to drown out some of her background tonight, noisy empire and whatnot. Oh my God, people. Are you ready? Are you ready for this tonight? I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if you're ready. People, what a glorious, glorious day. What a glorious day as we watch the mushroom cloud. Oh God, it's gorgeousness and gorgeosity, the culmination. Oh, the drive. Oh, the assault that opened a gateway to the Renaissance. Oh God, where am I taking you tonight? Let's just go in. Let's go in right away. Chewy, bring me up. Bring me up, Iron Danny. Bring me up, Iron Danny, please. Make me a tiny guy. No. Bring up the background. I'm sorry. People, as everybody knows, look, I'm not going to titillate you tonight. Let's just get it on, baby. Right? Let's just get it on. Look what we've got coming. What is in the ether, people? Every once in a while, someone steps forward and says, yeah, I'll be there first. I'll be the one to land on the beach. Mine'll be the first boot print. Oh, God. Oh, God. Who is that? That is Iron Danny Jones. That is Iron Danny Jones. You may not fully appreciate, right? Just as I don't, right? It's why the muse does her thing. You may not fully appreciate the wake of this atomic, but please understand the quantum rift has been opened and the echidna is coming. Oh God, it's absolutely gorgeous. People, what happened? You know what happened. I know that you know. And by the way, to satanic congregation who is out there supporting Iron Danny, saying, good for you, sexy guy. Do you understand how important that is? Because your voice compels forward the Renaissance. And Iron Danny has struck, and what he has done will never stop echoing. This, people, is the beginning of their end. This is the ascendant muse. Please understand where we all are. This is the particular power of the ancient prophet. I'm going to show you some things tonight that have to do, that's good, keep that one, that have to do with the prophecy and the prophet. I'm going to show you some things that have to do with what it is that makes that prophet able to engage past, present, and future. I want you to look at Jesus, Epstein, Trump. And I want to ask, where are we? As the watchers watch, where are we? Look at her story, people. The entire world is focused upon this moment in which we look at the worst child abuse in history and those who perpetuate it. And we're faced with the fact that our chosen Savior is an abuser of kids. Our chosen Savior is an abuser. Look at the tyranny. Look at the tyranny of greed. Your greed stains your soul with a stench of ruin. This is the past, the present, and the future. Welcome tonight. Welcome tonight. Oh, God. Oh, God. Now, people, I want to do some clips, and I want you to remember that we are not members of brothels. Do you understand? We are not members of cue the brothel. Chewy, what's wrong? Well, we are not members of brothels. The purpose of what we are doing has absolutely nothing to do with money. It cannot, it must not. And as soon as it does, we lose the connection. It's in the satanic agreement, compact, people. I told you, when you sign that contract, you better read it. All right? And it says, the inspiration. Are we screwed? Are we messed up? People, we're under combat situation here. So we're having to get our mic and everything screwed. Was it screwed up for them? Just for a second. Fantastic. We appreciate the feedback, Satanic Congregation. Right? Chewy, you're doing a marvelous job. Keep it up. Back to the devil's contract, right? You cannot do this for money, he said. If you do, you don't get it. Everything is void, right? Everything is void. You still owe me. Do you understand? That soul still has to be transferred, but there was no exchange. It's a one-way energy vector. Do you understand? No money. That's why Lady Babylon is not monetized. We do not sell inspiration. Would you like to see the loss of inspiration? What happens? Bring me up the brothel again. What happens when you lose inspiration? Do you see the coin? The coin becomes that which the epithumia was supposed to fill. It was supposed to fill you with desire for what was beautiful. And instead, your product is something cheap that you sell on the streets and in the back alleys. It's all becoming obvious. People, can I just summarize really quick for people who are catching up? And I think it's okay if I take a little time to summarize. I think it's okay. What has happened, people? We were sent here and we landed right in the middle of the brothel. And what did we do? We took every member of the brothel and brought them nemesis. This is what the devil does. It's time for you to get what you deserve. Do you understand? This is for people who do not respect those sources. Sitting right now somewhere is Wes Huff. And Wes Huff is dreading what is coming because he knows he cannot possibly meet me face to face. Right? They can shoot me full of tranquilizers, Wes. So I behave. I promise. All I'm going to do is show them which one of us reads Greek. That's all I'm going to do. And we're going to do it for Jesus' sake. Oh, people, run. Run. Give me a little music. Can we leave that up? Give me a little, no, put me back down there small. And because your art is superior, Chewy. I mean, I love it. Give me a little music for background. Yeah. A little music for background. I don't know if you can set up the volume here, Chewy, and Satanic Congregation, if you're settling in. When you sell out, when you give in to your desire for eternal life, for lots of cash and lots of things, when you do it and enter the employ of the brothel, is never connection. When Wes Huff sat in a very comfortable chair with Julian something, and he sat there with him and said, "Here, in 2 minutes, I'm going to tell you why everything he said was wrong." And then gibberish flowed. He can't do that if I'm present. People, I have been to classical philology conferences all over the world. There's a reason that we train like we do. And on top of that, I've been doing it for 35 years. Right? This will be a slaughter because the person will have to show you that they are not represented. Text is not what they represented. But their authority is really not there. This is not about religion. This is about the language, the science, the reasoning, and what I am bringing to the world is the drug that brings us into communion. Christ, I am bringing you the mystery. I am opening the gate. Simply through the language. Simply through the language. You see, then it doesn't matter how smart or stupid I am. It's all in the language, people. And when Wes Huff knows he cannot sit across the table from me with whoever that is that's interviewing, right? Whoever those people are, whatever venue, doesn't matter the millions of people who will be watching it, right? He has made a fatal mistake. He has made claims in an area that he is not an expert. Right? This is a science, and it's very easy. It's very easy to show somebody, look, this person is capable of doing. Right? Right. If Westhoff has any brains, because this will catch him. This will catch him. He needs to start reading right now. And Wes, you better start reading a lot. Okay. You and I are going to go over Greek literature. You and I are going to go over Greek. The Greek that you said my translations are improper and that yours are cheery. Guess what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it together. And let's bring in everything, Wes. Let's do what made Kip run. Let's do what made the people at Harvard say, oh, we're not going to get involved. Let's do what made the head of the Greek program at Dallas Theological Seminary say, oh, I don't want to do that. Let's just do the Greek. Put it up there. Put it up. There's the problem, Wes. I got to warn you. I'm going to be able to take people to the places that you can't go. And I'm going to make you look like you really don't know this language. I'm sorry. Right. But you're talking about a text, the Bible, and you have to be responsible and professional with that text. Okay, let's do a little clip. I love it, right? People are betting whether or not it's going to happen, right? Because, people get scared. He doesn't want to go out there and show that he really doesn't. He really can't handle language. He just doesn't, and he really can't translate those texts, right? It's scary, man. I'm telling you. When I was going out and professionally doing this with profs from Oxford, don't you think that was a little intimidating to me as well? Right? But that's why they make you do it, right? You got to get into the arena and you've got to fight. This is a match, right? This is a match. And there's a lot at stake here. This is classical civilization challenging Christianity. That, make no mistake. Danny is visionary because he knows the power of what I'm saying. He knows the power of those texts. He knows it doesn't rely on me. It relies on the text. Oh, God. It's gorgeous, right, people? Right? And by the way, Satanic Congregation, everybody who's saying we're possessed, right? You guys are possessed now too, right? Don't think it's just me. Don't think it's just me. And I know you've been taking heat for a long time. And very, very malicious, empty people are coming out saying you're part of a cult, right? Dude, there's no money exchange between us. You don't do me any favors. I don't do you any favors. Right? Nothing's going, we don't even meet, people. Do you understand? And yet you have just awful trolls who will say, oh, you're part of a cult. Right? Now, these are all monist trolls, right? We all know that. And we know that they're saying, oh, he's demon possessed. Can deal with it as soon as their logic is fried, right? What we're going to do, yeah, I'm sorry, people, our audio is, as usual, we're dealing with technical problems here aboard the Falcon. All right, let's just get to some clips. What's going to happen, people, is, look, blow me up one more time. Throughout history, there have been debates, right? Discussions between rivals of different schools of thought or different sciences, right? Oh, God. This is important. This is what makes the museum the museum. The fact that two people could come together, right, and could be able to discuss. It's very important. Very important. If what is happening online and people are demanding that I either be incarcerated or that I be dealt with in a jihadi kind of way, Okay, people, this is serious. This is serious. Do I look like I'm flinching? No. To everybody out there who sends threats, yeah, yeah, right? Your desperation belies the fact that your 72 virgins can't shit or piss because your religion is stupid. Do you understand? When your religion tells you to kill women and children, children who are trying to drink water, and you kill them, and you fund that killing, when you do so, the blood is on your hands. It's on your hands. Who is your savior? Who is your savior? Jesus Epstein Trump. You are watching it. You are watching it happen. Oh, God, give it to me. Give it to me. What a Jesus. Let's play a game. Look at this little boy. Let's play a game. I didn't bring my whip for Timmy. Let's play a game. No, bring him back up. Let's play a game. What do these three people have in common? Jesus, Epstein, and Trump. What could they possibly have in common? Victims who were silent, anonymous, shut the hell up victims. Right? Do you feel the desire, people? This is magic. Do you feel the desire in the air, the ether? Blow me up. Do you feel the desire in the ether to rectify, to bring nemesis, to stop and punish those who deserve punishment for abusing children? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? It's in the air. It's in the air. Release the list. Who's on the list? Is Jesus on the list? Is Trump on the list? Oh, God. God, people. What a world of God. Yahoo has made such glory. And by the way, people, meet Yahoo. Satanic Congregation, Yahoo. Yahoo Satanic Congregation. Welcome to God's world, where genocide is our program. God. It's lovely. You think you're getting that list? No. Why aren't you getting that list? Because he is on it. Isn't the muse incredible? She writes all of this. She writes all of this. Do you know what the Greeks said about the muse? They said her irony is the special signature of her writing style. Her irony. Oh, God. Oh, God. You mean we in this cosmos are ruled by a female poet? Does that make you uncomfortable, bitches? Do you know what she's characterized? She's characterized by having astrologia. What is that? I don't know, but it sounds bad. It's those dirty words she's always saying. You need those. You need the free speech. You want to see Jesus giving it to little boys? Who killed Jesus Epstein? Who killed him? People, this isn't going away. This is apocalypse. Don't you love it? Oh my God. Okay. Are you ready? Poop hole. Did we? I was going to summarize what happened. So I entered the brothel. You know what happens? Everybody there got, run over, thrown into the poop hole, right? Somewhere along the line, they all fell short, right? And the whole time they're falling short, Satanic Congregation is cheering and yelling and demanding the reality of the text. And I love you for it. I love you for it. And the brothelians, they follow. They fall. Oh, God, they fall. One by one. And the muse writes the story. I don't think there's a single Christ before the Bible. And it turns out there's thousands. What is that show about? Bring him back. What is that show about Bart? Do you realize what we did? We showed that Bart actually doesn't read anything of Greek. How does he know what any of these words mean? He doesn't read anything. We showed him, and he discovered there that Christ was a drug, and you could see it working in his brain. And then he shot it down and said, no, it cannot be. Because in order to approve and associate of the truth of reality, you have to deny what is false. And if a man has to deny that his very being is falsified, the very ideas that he stands upon are false, it's scary, people. And human psychology always Chewy's fine.
Okay.
Equipment people. Okay. People, I know the sound is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit off, and we're going to have to adjust the volume. I apologize. We've got to lobby the rebellion for a microphone. You know what I mean? I'm going to pull one out of my keister here in a second. But I appreciate your patience. Okay, let's keep going. Hit it. You see, people, that's what happens. Give me the next one. The video, yeah. Let's watch some of the video, people. Go ahead.
Well, they probably had music that enhanced the trip. It probably guided the trip. They probably learned how to do it while they were tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they figured out so much. They figured out democracy. They started so much of what we think of as like Western government.
Yeah.
And
The scientific democracy, all this stuff.
Tripping balls. And then the Romans came along and said, stop.
Yep.
We're here to make slaves out of you fucking people. We don't want you.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, a couple of things that Joe said there that, brought up the whole democracy thing, right? One of the things that's gorgeous, you understand that people know that there is a well of beauty that is in this Greek language that is sitting there. Things like democracy are coming from it. They know that. And when you can renew that well, right? If Joe is just given access to that well, it's going to explode his mind. Let me tell you something. Wes Huff sat on that show and told Joe Rogan the Romans didn't have hospitals. No hospital. So what do you do? Well, in those days, and whenever somebody talks about those days in general or in biblical times, which is stupid, right? That general fairy tale, realize, listen, you're being put into a fairy tale. Those times, really? Do you know how many cultures lived across the Mediterranean over the 2,000-year period that we're responsible for working with in the language? It's uncountable, people. Right? There's no those times everybody did this. When somebody tells you that, they're about to take you in the back. And Wes took Joe in the back and he told Joe there were no hospitals. No hospitals in Antigua. You couldn't go get treatment. Right? Ergo, one of his points was right. And Joe sat there and went, Joe didn't know because he hasn't been exposed to this. He doesn't know. You don't know either. You know who knows? You know who knows? Galen knew. Dioscorides knew. Serranus knew. Herophilus knew. Hippocrates knew. And the funny thing is, Wes is so wrong, he couldn't be more wrong and more deceptively misleading. They didn't have any hospitals. I have hours of Galen for you to read in Greek, which you couldn't read. And Wes, you know I'm going to throw some Galen at you that talks about Christing. You know. And Wes, you know Galen, well, you probably don't, but Galen is seriously difficult. Seriously. If you haven't read a lot of Second Sophistic, you're in trouble. Okay? So if I were you, Wes, I'd start reading Galen. Wes tells him there are no hospitals. You know who knew? Galen knew. Where was Galen trained? In a city called Pergamum. Bergama. Do you understand? Modern. Pergamum. And why did he train there? Well, he trained under the auspices of the Temple of Asclepius. They had their own library and, yes, Wes, hospital, very busy one. Galen's job in his training was to intern as the gladiatorial surgeon. Okay. He learned all of his anatomy and all of his basic surgery there. And what kind of books do you think he was reading? Let me guess. He was reading Hebrew books, right, Wes? No, there were none, because there never had been. He was reading Greek. You mean there wasn't Hebrew? There is no Hebrew literature. Zero. Don't worry, there's no Martian either. All right? There's no Umbrian either. It's not personal. Okay? Language. Some strong, some weak. Greek. Ultimate. Do you understand? Ancient Greek. Ultimate. All right. No, I want to keep it just like this. Thanks, Chewy. People, so I need you to realize that not only is Wes Huff feeding Joe Rogan false information in order to prop up some kind of Christian narrative, but he is erring in a way that is just openly sadly incorrect. And it shows that he has never exposed himself to Greco-Roman literature. Ever. And people, do you think he's going to come into a meeting where I'm going to talk about what a Christ is, and I'm going to show you every occurrence, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to pick the best ones, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. And the whole world is going to see, Wes, that you are fraudulent in your monism. Reason will win. If you show up, Wes, it will end your career. Do you understand? This is not about demons. This is not about being demonic. This is about reason and art and language and translation. I am not an interpreter. I don't interpret Homer. I don't exegete Homer. Do you understand? I translate. I bring you the word of Homer, closest to that original breath, so that you can breathe in yourself antiquity. That's what I do. That's what classical philology does. Right? What this is brewing, what is brewing, is classical philology meets Christianity. And it is going to be brutal. But that's what we need for Renaissance. You have to stop the lies and the falsehoods and the doctrines and the dogmas. You've got to stop those in order to regenerate the classical font. It's what dragons do. It's the only reason dragons are there. Right? Fantastic. Woo! Love it. Oh! Give it to me. A little more video. Let's hear some more video, people. You love this.
AD, I think.
Well, they did exactly the same things the Nixon administration did to psychedelics in this country.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, this is a problem.
Please.
When they were turning everything Schedule 1 to try to stop the anti-war movement and the civil rights movement, that's the exact same thing. Like the governments, when they get to a certain position of power, they're not representing the people anymore. Now they're the fucking jackbooted thugs that tell you what you can and can't do based on how inconvenient it is for you to be doing that for them running things.
Right. Yeah. It's terrible. It's the opposite of what it should be. It's the opposite of what got. It's the opposite of what got us here, I think, bro.
Yes.
It's the opposite of what got us here. Look at what you're looking at. You're looking at a discussion between two people who are talking about what makes government. What are the drives that make government, and what gets into what is the psychology? Are they talking doctrine? No. Are they trying to sell you anything? No. They are actually just sitting there discussing. That is the beginning of the museum. That's the beginning. Do you see what's happening naturally when you introduce that classical font? Look at that. Danny's like, look, I think that's what, you can see his brain coming to the conclusion, the enlightenment of, that's what happens, man. That's how this works. That's how the system perpetuates. Right? Brilliant. Yeah. All you have to do is give people those sources. If Joe Rogan can be given the sources, he'll know what a Christ is. Yeah. Yeah, this is that simple. Doesn't depend on me. It depends on the muse. Keep going.
You want to govern 330 million people plus Mexicans? Good luck.
I had this dude on my show, speaking of the academic, the strife between the academics and the self-taught online people, influencers, whatever you want to call them. This dude was, he was kicked out of his university first of all, he wrote a dissertation on ancient pharmacy, the Roman pharmacy and Greek pharmacy. And it was a dissertation based on this guy named Galen, who was like the Surgeon General of ancient Rome. And he had a chapter in his dissertation, his PhD dissertation, about recreational drugs in Rome. And the head of the department reviewed his dissertation and said everything looks great. Delete the section on recreational drugs in ancient Rome.
Yep. We have to just pause here and change some things. Delete the section on recreational drugs. Right? The first time any West Huffian ever stepped up and said, "You must be possessed," it was right then. Somebody telling me what you have been reading is not correct. Okay, wait a minute. I'm not here. I'm just here to give you what's out there in the sources, right? I'm a journalist, man. That's all I do. I don't put any value on it for good or for bad. You and I, Satanic Congregation, look, we did shit Christing together, right? You've seen it in antiquity, shit Christing. Love it, right? How much shit Christing can we do to blaspheme? It's amazing, people. You didn't know there was shit Christing. I guarantee you Wes Huff doesn't know what shit Christing is. What is Wes Huff going to do if I ask him, hey, if your wife has rough spots on her breasts, if you let me shit Christ her, it'll take them away. What is Wes Huff going to do if I say that? He's not going to know that those texts are there. And what am I going to do? I'm going to pull up shit Christ thing and say, read this, Wes. What does it say? And if he's good enough at the Greek, which he's not, he would be able to read through it and say, oh, you're right. Just like Bart. Right? Bart had enough Greek that he could actually look at the Greek and say, oh, wait a minute, you're right. It's a Christing there is a drug, and you see his whole world explode in his mind as he's sitting there trying to figure out what to do. Get in the hole, Bart. Right? Get in the hole. Yeah. It's humiliating. Right? It's humiliating to reach a point in your life that you realize your basis and foundation are phony. They're false. They don't hold water, bruh. That's why you should have trusted in Lady Science. Lady Reason's never going to lead you wrong. People, classical philology is just a science. Yeah. Whew! Oh, God, it makes me want to give it to me. A little more Danny Jones and who was the other guy? Joe Rogan. Right, I'm joking because of course I knew who it was. Now go.
So he's like, okay, why? They're like, because the Romans wouldn't do such a thing. So he's like, okay, he deleted it and then submitted it, got his PhD, and then wrote a book based on that part of the dissertation that he left out, which the book was called The Chemical Muse. And I learned about this from Hamilton Morris. He did a podcast with the dude first. And I read that book. And, you know, he was basically making the case that drugs were ubiquitous in antiquity during the Roman times. Like they were being used for everything because people were not dying from old age. They were dying from war, hand-to-hand combat, famine, plague,
infection,
all these things, infection. Yeah. So like people were constantly using drugs. And there was a law in ancient Rome that he said there was only one law when it came to using drugs. And that was that you were not allowed to kill people with drugs. You were not allowed to murder people, which is why Marcus Aurelius was using this drug compound called a theriac. And the theriac was a concoction of like 11 different North African vipers, their flesh and their venom combined with opium and all kinds of like bodily fluids. And he was using this as like a performance enhancing drug.
Whoa.
Because people were trying to assassinate him with poisons. That's how they assassinated people. They were using scorpions, poisons, arrows, all different kinds of weird things to sneak in and kill him. So he was drinking this theriac to build up his immune system against the against the venoms. And dude, this dude Galen, who wrote about this shit, he was talking about he was Marcus Aurelius' physician. And he was like, Marcus Aurelius, it's like, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting annoying. I keep having to up his opium dose. He keeps using more and more fucking opium. I can't get him off of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so Galen.
Okay. Now what's just happened? Notice that Danny is providing him that window through those sources. He's saying Galen directly, right? Galen says, right? And yeah, why? Because Danny has now read Galen's Theriac to Piso. Do you understand? So he's got a source loaded. And look at how Joe responds. He hears it. It makes sense. The history sinks in. It makes sense. And he absorbs it and he grows, right? And he learns. And now he can make even more complex conclusions about the time period because he's armed, right? That's all you have to do is arm these people, and they will turn around to Wes Huffs of the world and disarm them and cause them to run. Because theology and dogma cannot stand against what's happening on your screen. The delivery of those sources is deadly to the people. It's deadly. Marcus Aurelius was using the Theriac and doing quite marvelously. Right? People were noting it, what it was doing to them. And Galen knew that years before, when Nero was emperor, he was doing the same thing. And he goes back, Galen goes back, and he gets those texts from Nero's own physician. He says, here they are. This is how you do the Theriac. And he does it for Marcus Aurelius. Okay? You wouldn't have known this because Wes Huff wants you to believe that there were no hospitals in antiquity. Do you know how many surgeries Galen does and describes? Wes Huff has no idea. Do you understand why it's so dangerous for him to step out with me? Right? If he were to go on either of these gentlemen's shows with me, the veil would be lifted. It would see him for what he is. Right? And people would get angry. People would get angry and say, well, how is it that you can tell us these lies? Right? That's freedom. That's parousia. Freedom. Speech that brings freedom. Do you get it? Democracy. Yay. It's gorgeous. No? Makes me sexy horny. Democracy. Right? Intellectually, people. Don't be perverts. Let's go. Let's go. A little more. Give us a little more. You people, tell me if you don't. If you want that great. Give it to me. Go ahead.
The physician, the Surgeon General of the Roman Empire, under Marcus Aurelius and Nero, I think, basically equates to 10% of all the Greek literature from antiquity. 10% of it is medical. And this dude that wrote this dissertation, based it all off Galen, is talking about all these drug compounds that are used in all the literature. So what he does is he looks at all the ancient literature from Homer to, like 800 to like the time that Beowulf was written, basically, 80. And he's like finding all of this evidence of crazy drug use. And he has this crazy theory also that I don't know if it's crazy. I don't know. The problem like with talking to people like them, like him, is that I don't know ancient Greek. I can't read it.
Right.
And I've tried to have like 4 or 5 academics come on the show to like refute him, but they won't come on with him. They all refuse to debate him, except for one guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why? Because
he's saying Christ is a drug.
Oh, I saw that video.
Oh,
yeah.
You saw the whole thing?
No, I saw that video pop up on my YouTube. My Danny Jones going crazy. Like, what is he doing? Christ is a drug? What?
So,
but that's also what John Marco Allegro alleges.
Kind of.
Sort of. Well, he said that the ancient Sumerians.
Okay, so I very famously have no interest in anything that has to do with Allegro. And why would I be like that? Honestly, because there was a period of time when I was very closely working with Carl Ruck just on research that I was doing on ancient drugs and bouncing off of him. And he was kind enough and good enough of a human being to say, you know what, this is right. Looks what you're doing is this, and maybe go here. Or are there more sources over here? And we hit it off, and it was the best collaboration professionally I've ever had, right? Simply because his Greek is so good, and he's been over these sources. He knows them, right, like the back of his hand. Yeah, and why did I bring that up? Oh, and one of the funny things was in our relationship was I told him I don't want to ask you anything about Allegro or any of that business. I have no interest in that, right? I looked at that book, Mushrooms and Cross, and as soon as I saw that it was crossing languages and wasn't, it was taking from Middle Eastern stuff. And I had been trained by John Scarborough, who set me up very well with foundations. You have to have foundations in different areas. And it was very contrary for me to be able to say, well, okay, I'm going to use something in cuneiform when it's not one of my areas of expertise. So I immediately had no interest in Allegro whatsoever. So all of that stuff that Carl Ruck gets involved with, because people want to know, because he was involved with that and they want to know and they talk to him. I have no interest in that stuff whatsoever. My interests are those texts in Greek. That's all. People, honestly, why am I like that? I have read some Sumerian translation. I had a whole semester of Middle Eastern languages in antiquity where they covered cuneiform, Sumerian, Akkadian, and all that kind of stuff, Babylonian. They gave us general introduction to that. And then when I got to work with Norm Yaffe, who actually deciphered cuneiform, which is why I would never right? Would never even try. But I got to see him do it and explain how it's done. And I got to read some literature. And people, the literature is crap. It's total crap. Gilgamesh is the most poorly written third grade piece of crap on the planet. Okay? Any Greek would laugh at that crap. It's no wonder that Strabo is the only person who ever mentions it. Right? There is no section on Sumerian literature in any of the libraries in antiquity. There's no section on Hebrew literature because they don't exist. Sumerians have a little bit, but that Hebrew literature, it actually doesn't exist, period. There's gone. There's nothing. It's not that it just didn't survive, right? It's very important for you to understand as an audience. And if Joe and Danny were here, I would tell them this very thing. You've got to understand, man. When they found the library from the 1st century Anno Domini in Pompeii, Herculaneum, I should say, in Herculaneum, right? They found the library, they got the scrolls, and finally, after so many, it's 100 years, I don't know how long, 120 years or something, we are now finally able to translate those scrolls. Those are scrolls from a library that is Roman in the 1st century Anno Domini, contemporary with Jesus. And what are they? Are they books in Hebrew? Hell no. They're books in Greek. Well, shouldn't they be books in Latin? Because the Romans, for you to ask that question shows me that you have never delved into the written evidence from antiquity. Why didn't they find all Latin works? That shows me. The Greek language people screwed every other language, including Latin. Right? Just decimated. You cannot achieve in Latin what you can in ancient Greek. Ask any classical philologist. Any classical philologist. I'm sorry to the people, the Catholic school people. I'm sorry to all the Jesuits and all the Latin tradition. But dude, you know, as they knew, Greek is far superior. Far. Perfect. Let's do a few more. A couple more minutes.
Sumerian word for a mushroom, for Christ is a mushroom that's covered in God's semen.
Yeah.
Because the mushrooms would come out of the ground, and they thought the rain was God coming on the earth. And that's where, that's what gave life to the earth. And then they would take these mushrooms and see God.
Right. Yeah. I don't know much about John Marco Allegro, but I think that I read his book, the
Sacred Mushroom
in the Cross. Yeah. He was like using Sumerian roots or something to translate the Dead Sea Scrolls.
I guarantee you, people, the physicians, scientists, poets, guitar players from antiquity, the singers, the tragedians, right? They don't think like this. Oh, God, pissed on the ground. Up comes the... Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I need you to look up a word in Greek. Analogia. Analogia. And I want you to read about what the Vatican priestess says, who worships Vaticanus. I want you to see what she says. Do you know what Vaticanus is? It's a state of prophetic inspiration. Vaticanus. This is what they're worshiping on the Vatican Hill. Right? Ask that priestess about analogia, because that's what she's teaching with her Greek. Do you know you can't say analogy to a Roman? You can't say analogy to an Umbrian. Those fucking Etruscans don't have it either. It's Greek. How about thesis? How about hypothesis? Can you get an Etruscan to tell you what a hypothesis is? No. Can you get somebody using the Hebrew language that doesn't exist? That's a fabrication? Can you get them? No, that doesn't exist. No. How about a Spaniard? How about somebody on the edge of Spain sitting out there looking at the beautiful ocean? Are they going to know what a hypothesis is? No. Do you think, Joe Rogan, that the people who sat around coming up with the circulation of your body and where it is that the veins turn into the arteries? What are these little plexus connections? What is this? What is that formation that runs from your spinal cord out down here and causes you to be able to move your facial muscles? What are those? If you don't have hypothesis, you can't figure that stuff out. People, they were taking humans and creating antibodies from humans. Right? Do you really think that these physicians who are performing surgeries that are open gut surgeries, Joe Rogan, in the hospitals that Wes Huff told you don't exist, they are performing surgeries, open gut surgeries. You can read the descriptions of them. Galen was a master at this stuff. It's where he learned his tricks of the trade. Do you think these people woke up in the morning, Joe, and said, the sky, piss down. Great sky god, piss down on earth, give mushroom. Are you joking? Right? You, Wes Huff, perpetuate a fairy tale, a false movie in the heads of people that doesn't exist so that you can apply your theology to them. Wes Huff, you and I are going to have a chat about eternal life. You better know what the expression is, Wes. You better know, because it's not what you think it is. When you promise people eternal life and you tell them the plan of salvation and you pray with them, oh God, and you love them as they convert and accept Jesus Christ for the eternal life that they will receive. Wes, you don't tell them that eternal life isn't in the Bible, do you? Yeah. If Wes Huff appears with me, yeah, things will change. Things will change. We have the Antichrist, people. We have the Antichrist. One more minute, then I'm going to give you some Greek. Give me a little bit more, Danny.
But this guy's basically saying the word Christ, the root of the word Christ is chrio in Greek, right? And it was used since Homer. And there's all these passages, which this dude sent me. I call him all the time and I ask him, I'm like, I need more evidence. Send me more shit. And he sends me passages from like ancient literature, Homer, that's translated with the English directly under it. And they're using this word Christ as a term for applying drugs to people in antiquity.
Whoa.
Like Christing arrows with poisons, right? It's like, and
in what year was this where they were doing this?
Back all the way to like 800 BC was when Homer starts using it.
So they're using this term before Christ.
Way before Christ. It was, well, so to be clear, in antiquity, if you look it up on the so to be starts using it.
So they're using this term before.
People, look at Joe Rogan's expression. Look at Joe Rogan's expression. It doesn't matter what this man believes. It doesn't matter what he thinks. It doesn't matter what his background was. You see the reason. You see her reason herself working in him through nature. Look at his eyes. He says, you mean they're using this term Christ hundreds of years before Jesus? Yeah. Yeah. Before there's any Old Testament, before there's any Septuagint, before there is any hint of monism anywhere, people are Christing. There are thousands of Christings, thousands of them before Jesus ever shows up. Regular Christing, about 300. Para-Christing, kata-Christing, peri-Christing, epi-Christing, in-Christing. Have I missed any people? I have. RT-Christing, that's fresh Christing. All of those Christings add up to, before the Bible, having thousands. Thousands. Look at Joe. Look at his face. Right? He's figuring it out. And that's what people do. They only need the information. They don't need your ideas. They don't need your theories. They don't need your doctrine. They need those sources. They need the evidence. Let them figure it out. Let Joe Rogan be the jury. Right? Westhoff, Amon Hillman, Joe Rogan, Danny Jones, referees. Let's get to the true reality of our existence. Oh, God. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Just wait until he has to tackle the boys, right? The naked kids. Just wait. That didn't sound right. Wait until he tackles the naked boys. Who's he talking about? Jesus? Epstein? Or the guy who's obviously not on that list? People, you love it. That's what the prophet has to do. Has to past, present, and future woven into one beautiful narrative. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it gorgeous? God, Jesus Epstein, right? Exactly. Thank you. Right. By the way, how is the congregation, before I give you the Greek, how is everybody doing? Throw me up some comments, people. Joey, I want to hear from the congregation. Did people like Danny Jones on Joe Rogan? Put them up. Put them up. Bring on the eunuchs. Oh, somebody wants eunuchs. That's okay. Just because you said that, and I love you so much, I'm going to take that to West Huff. We're going to do eunuchs. Eunuchs for Jesus. And was the bandage on the pee-pee of the kid, does that indicate that he was a eunuch for the kingdom of heaven? Blessed are the eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven. Oh, what else? Did you guys like Joe? Right? Give me this. Loving this. Are you loving this? Thank you for saying that. I have, Bridget, get out there. What are you doing? What are you doing? You got something to do, right? Go find it. Go find it. I don't care if you go find it right now, because what's best for you is to see what's happening. This is the beginning of the Renaissance, people. I don't think that I can say this more clearly. This is the beginning of the Renaissance. Future historians will get in their little time machines and they'll come back and document the beginning of the Renaissance. And it started with one person, Iron Danny fucking Jones. Yeah, fantastic. What else? What else do people think? Christ? Okay, now Christing your testicles. Yes, you like to consider all the different medical procedures. When would you Christ somebody's testicles in antiquity? When would you? You only Christ the testicles when you want to affect their operation. Remember Timmy? Right? What happens? Timmy goes to bed every night, right? This is Timmy Magnus. And he goes to bed in this little rolling bed every night. And he has his nocturnal emissions, which scare him and wake him up. And the doctor that his mommy takes him to, right, says, here's a put it on perichrist his genitalia, and he will sleep better and he won't rise with nocturnal emission. Here's the problem, Mom. Don't overuse it. Don't overuse it, because it's going to suppress his sexual drive. Okay. Now, people, you heard the term Christ used in that situation. That's an historical situation pulled from ancient medical texts. Okay, I want to know, people, what do you think? Give me your opinions on the Joe Rogan interview with Danny. The truth will set you free. Totally agree. Totally agree. Fantastic. Danny is our Christ. Look, what? Bring up the picture of Danny. I like that. I like that. Right? We're going to Christ together with Danny. Wouldn't it be cool to Christ with Danny? Right? Could you shit Christ with Danny? I guess would that be the ancient question? I don't think so. It's the sex Christing stuff that's in your face. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? A funny thing is, too, people, without the sex in the rite, you don't get the enlightenment. Right? Notice that Joe was talking about the music. This is a very important element of the ancient mystery that nobody appreciates. And look, they're talking about it. Danny and Joe are talking about it. Did you know the music very specially compels the mystery forward, so that when you are implanting the eidolon in the individual, even if they're under the influence of the drugs, if the music is wrong, they don't pass the gateway. That's how they referred to it in the PGM. Do you know the music is charted out in the rites that survive? Do you know you have to be able to determine what it is? Because they don't tell you. They don't tell you. This is why we use percussion. They just tell you percussion. Right? You have to determine where it is in the sequence. Right? Now, they wanted people to be able to reproduce this, so they very wisely wrote it down. It's up to us to read it, to translate it properly. And people, this This is a translator's ultimate desire, to be able to take a text that is not just one word and to translate it into my word, but to take the art itself and bring it back alive on display for people. The music is there. These rights could be activated, but they won't work without the music. Do you know who the critical person is in the cosmos? It's the fucking guitar players. God, it makes sense now. The draw. Have you ever seen the draw? Oh, God. Aphrodite is overwhelming. Why do you think that is? Because these are gods. They are the creators. They are the singers. This is why we worship the muse. Right? Oh, God. Oh, God. There's a reason Dionysus's mother is at the center of the cult. It's her voice, people, and the lightning that brings you everything beautiful. Mystery, people. I can't wait to talk to Wes Huff about Mysterion and how many times. If he didn't know that a Christ was outside of the Bible, he's not going to know that mystery is outside of the Bible too. And imagine if he hasn't read the term mystery or any of the initiation rites, he doesn't know that stuff. He hasn't seen it. Oh my God. How the hell does he translate it when Paul uses the term? Right? He doesn't translate. Wesley Huff does not translate. Wesley Huff has been given interlinear translations in his Greek course. Wesley Huff has memorized those interlinear Greek translations. He is not actually translating. This is something that any Greek instructor knows, right? Students who are in seminaries use interlinear. Their translating skills are not actually translating skills. They are memory skills. You mean there's a difference? Yeah. Translation is an art, people. It is a science. Okay? Fantastic. And people, I know it turns you on. I know it turns, no, so let's let it get dark. I know it turns you on a lot, people, because imagine Christ and mystery. Do you know how many aspects of Christianity, right, are determined by your knowledge of the language? I mean, let me state that. That was kind of cloudy. What am I trying to say? It is impossible to make a leap from somebody who is an interlinear translator and somebody who's just a classical philologist. It's impossible, right? You have to take that person and you have to retrain them, right? Now imagine, I'm going to be sitting across from Wes, and I've been teaching people Greek for years. And I'm going to sit across from him. I'm going to know exactly where he is within about 5 minutes. And I'm going to ascertain that very quickly. And I'm going to show that to people. Wes Huff didn't want to come on Danny Jones' show to talk with me because he knows. He knows the difference in our training. He knows it, right? Theologians can't stand where classical philologists work. Fantastic. Fantastic. God, I love it. Homer and Odysseus Christing those arrows, right? Look at Joe. A little more, Joe. Sorry. And then we'll do a passage. Go.
Christ.
Way before Christ. It was, well, so to be clear, in antiquity, if you look it up on the thesaurus, the actual like Greek thesaurus is called the TLG, and you look up the word Christ, there's over 250 200,000 or more uses of the word Christ. And there's like 350 times where it's used in the context of drugs before Jesus Christ is ever written about.
Whoa.
And what he's basically claiming is that there's like it's the process of applying something. Like there's different contexts. Like there's a guy who like Christed himself in fucking cow shit. There's people who are Christing ships with plaster to make them more waterproof. But there's a vast majority of literature, including Galen, who writes about Christing using drugs. And he's coming up with this controversial theory, which is, you know, super fucking controversial, that Christ was like, if you think of the word Christ, a person can be a Christer, like a Christ. Like think of Bob the Builder. He's a builder. He builds shit. Christ was, they called him Jesus the Christ. So he thinks Christ was somebody who was involved with drugs, taking drugs, giving people drugs,
A shaman.
performing magic, like a shaman. Yeah, exactly. Similar to that. And
Look, can you see Danny just provide the text for Joe and Joe just follows it and logically, yeah, like a shaman, right? All right. Joe is not stupid. Joe is not stupid. Joe does not shut off his reasoning. You can see him using it, right? He doesn't shut it off. That's all that needs to happen, people. Not just for Joe, but for me and for Chewy and for everybody on this fucking planet. All you need is that evidence. All you need are those sources. All you need is what the people sat down and produced. You don't need the theology. The theology will mislead you. There are no hospitals in antiquity. I cannot believe anyone who has read more than one thing from the ancient world would ever say such a stupid thing. That shows Wes Huff has no clue. He does not read these sources, people. And that's typical. Bible scholars don't, right? Right? He interlinear translates. He reads something that he has packed into his brain. That's why it's very difficult to opening the Bible with him and just saying, how about translating this? Right? It's going to be difficult. He thinks he's prepared for that. But people, I'm going to give him other sources that are contemporary. And have him say, look, this guy's Christing over here. And he's using a bandage on a kid's hoo-ha. What is that for? People, you don't know because you don't have access to the sources. That is how you are controlled and governed. Don't do that, please. Don't, because it'll run out of the battery. That is how you are controlled and governed. Do you get it? If you don't have access to those sources, you cannot do what Joe Rogan just did. As I emerge, as I move from the light to the darkness. Yeah. Chewy, bring me up a text. I want to show a text. People, we'll do a little bit more of this maybe later. A couple things. This interview is outstanding, and Danny is, immaculate. He's immaculate. Because he's genuine and he's upfront and he's honest. He's honest, Danny Jones. Trustworthy. That iron is trustworthy. Pete, Chewy, give me the text for today. People, I just want you to see this really quick. I'm just going to translate it for you quite quickly here. Children, the final age is upon us. Just like you've heard that the Antichrist comes, and now there are many Antichrists that have come, right? This is how you know it's the last age. From us, they came. Right? Do you understand? They departed from us. Where are these Antichrists from? They're coming from us, people. You have to see this line, this little Chewy, highlight this and that, these two words. right? Ex-hemon. Ex-hemon. The antichrists are coming ex-hemon, from us. This is John in his first epistle, chapter 2. Are you ready? And by the way, you're gonna get all the cult that you've already seen, right? That you've developed ears for, right? Can they see and everything? Because I hit that accidentally. Let's see. Just make sure they can see. Yep, we're good. Okay. Look, it's spooky. It's spooky. Right, now let me just continue translating. They have departed from us, but they were not part of us. For if they were of us, right? Oh God. What's he gonna say? They would have stayed. They would have stayed with us. Right? These people didn't. They left. What's going on, people? We're talking about some of the earliest faction within the Christian mystery. This cult is fractionated. It's fractionalized. It's fractured. And what's happening? He said they would have stayed with us, right? Right? Okay. Right. But they weren't of us. None of these people were of us. And that's why they're being shown for what they are. Look at verse 20. And you have, look at the in yellow, you have the charisma. 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 See it, people? Here, blow it up, Chewy. Can you blow up that little? No, that's much. Charisma. You see it? You have the chrism, they call this, which is not a translation. That's a transliteration. Chrism. Charisma. Charisma. You have the Christing from the Holy One, and you have all knowledge. That whole phrase. Do you know how you come to knowledge and revelation? You come to knowledge and revelation through this Christing. This is a mind-altering drug compound. I didn't write to you because you didn't know the truth, but because you knew it. And because every lie, right, is not of the truth. Who is the liar, he says in verse 22. Who is the liar, if not the person who denies the Son and the Father? Right? The one that denies the Son, he says, he doesn't have the Father. He doesn't possess the Father. The one who agrees with the Son, he's the one who has the Father, right? And you, right? The things which you've heard from the beginning, let those things stick. What did he just say? Go to the next section. Go to the next page. What did he just tell us? He just told us that it is our Christing that gives us all knowledge, and that the people who have left us, who have participated in the Christing, those people were never of us. They were anti-Christing. They were anti-Christing. Down here in verse 27, hos to autochrisma didaske humas peripanton. Just underline this from here to here. Nope, next line. Boom. There you go, Chewy. Look at this, people. What does the Christing do to you? The Christing, he says here, didaske as peripanton. The Christing teaches you everything. Everything. And he says, just like it's taught you everything, remain in the Christing. Go ahead and blow me up. I'll just have to be dark, people. This is spooky. You do this, it'll put some light on my face. Can you see me? People, do you understand what John said It is the Christing that gives you the revelation. It is what makes us prophets. This is salvation. Why? Because it is ionic life. Does he say that, or am I making it up? Where's the, hang on. Where's the, oh, here it is, people. Oh, underline it from here to here. Boom. Underline it from here to here. What does he say? What does he say is this Christing? Your ionic Zoe, your ionic existence. You are dead in your sins and trespasses. He gave us ionic life through his Christing. This vision is what sets us apart from those who have the antidote and whose Christing does not give them our vision. Does this sound to you like modern Christianity? No, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because you cannot translate these texts. You rely on lies, falsehoods, and to be quite honest, the King James translators sucked ass. Wycliffe sucked ass. Why? Because like Wes Huff, they were not classical philologists. Thank you for coming tonight. I want you to please take a look. Watch Joe Rogan and Danny Jones. Watch them. Why? So they can get more views? Fuck no. Watch them so that you can see the freedom that reason brings. Hail Satan.
Picking you with smoke that plumes, rattling snakes, I'm Dr. Doom. Conjure witches, Medusa cut the rug with you. Purple dope faders, sing the song of satyrs. Black cape sway, hail Satan, fuck the haters. Get the whip, 666, it's showtime with the poisonous kiss. Let the good times roll, shooting from the hip. On liquid smoke they choke, creeping out the darkness. Evil love, something wicked, this way comes evil love. Wicked is as wicked does, evil love. Something wicked, this way comes evil love. Wicked is as wicked does.